see many names, people, faces here regularly, and many I'm seeing for the first time. So whether you've been coming regularly or you're brand new, welcome, and a most special welcome if you're here for the first time. We're glad you found us. I'm Cantor Shammash, and this is Online Yoga Studio. It's an all levels class, so I invite you, if it's a little much, take it back to where you need. If you need more, you know how to insert things into your practice. I invite you to do so, give you full permission to make this practice wholly yours today. It's great that you're taking the time for yourself. So today we'll need a blanket, and if you happen to have 2 blocks and a strap, they're nice to have nearby, but they are optional. So welcome, welcome. Chodesh Tov, it's the first of Cheshvan, and it's nice to settle into this month without holidays. Clergy always love this month. And we're going to look at Parshat Noach today. So first we'll begin on the back. I invite you to come to your back. And stretch out fully. Lengthen out. Find your body in this beautiful arrangement with gravity, taking a nice inhale through your nose. Then as you exhale, drop the jaw. With some breath or with some sound for a few breaths. Just using the exhale to let everything drop, let everything go. On the inhale, you might stretch in 4 directions as you fill up with air. And as you exhale, soften and let go. Couple breaths. And then draw your right knee towards your chest, hug it in. You can take hold on top of the shin or behind the thigh if that's more comfortable. Keep an extension on that left leg, or if it's more comfortable for your low back, bend the knee, place the sole of the foot on the floor. As you let that right hip crease just deepen, let the thigh bone drop. Hug the knee into the chest. On an exhale, you might even want to draw the forehead towards the knee, rounding the upper back, widening the shoulders. As you hug in, extend through that left heel. Drop that left thigh bone down. And then release. Lengthen both legs and extend the arms overhead. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through the toes, through the fingertips. Fill with breath. And then as you exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest, changing sides. Hugging that left knee. Flex through the right foot. Widen the toes, spread them, and send the ball of the foot forward so that you open and brighten the whole sole of the right foot. Let the left hip crease deepen. Let the bones of the left leg be heavy, coming in. And if you'd like, on an exhale, once again, bringing forehead to knee. Drawing the abdominal muscles deeper towards the spine, towards the back body. And releasing back down. Once again, inhale, open, stretch in 4 directions. You can take the arms and the legs a little bit wide, making an X. As you inhale, fill, open the whole body. And as you exhale, just let everything soften and drop. Just coming into now, coming into this moment. Wherever you are, whether it's first thing in the morning in your time zone, or mid-morning for you, or later in the day, just dropping what came before. Using the breath to become present as best we can right in this moment. So inhaling through the nose, once again, stretch in all 4 directions. And then as you exhale, soften. Just let be. This time is just for you to investigate, to give thanks, to be right here. Now bend the knees, take the soles of the feet to the floor. If you do have a block, grab it and place it between the legs just above the knee, that is at the lower thigh, not on the skinniest level, but on the next level up, so that the knees remain wide. Squeeze the block. Now, if you don't have a block, no problem. Take the hands to the outer knees, press the legs against the palms and the palms against the hands, right? So this isometric action, allow it to roll the groins in. You see that that's a byproduct of this action, right? Is that the groins deepen, the lower back widens. Now from here, draw the belly fully towards the spine. Really draw it in, draw it in, draw it in. And then allow that action to let you lift the head, come into a slight curl. So it's all the work is being done in the core and in the pelvis and the hips and nothing in the shoulders, the neck, the head. Let some heat build. Then lower down, pause, release the hands. You can shake out the wrists. And we'll take it one more time like that. Now, if you have the block between the legs, it's essentially doing the same action for you. So squeezing that block in helps deepen through the groins. Take the thighs away from the body. Press the hands to the outer knees, the outer lower thigh bone. Let the pelvis widen. Let the sacrum widen against the floor. Draw the belly to the spine, and once again, curl in. Wide low back, wide low back. Press with the hands, press with the legs. Ooh, release. Good. Take the hands to the knees and just take some circles with the feet. Stretch through the ankles, pointing and flexing, and shake out the legs. Little dead bug. You can stay on the floor or roll up to a comfortable seat for brief teaching. Feel free to stay on the floor if you're happy there. Continue just releasing your body down, your back down. So, first of Cheshvan, and we look at Parshat Noach this week. Quite a relevant parsha, I think, to our days, to our current situation. So we all know this story. Everyone and everything was so corrupt that God needs a do-over, which is kind of crazy considering we just began, right? We only began one Torah portion ago. And here we are, a couple generations later, and people have made a mess. So God decides, I need a do-over. God says, I've decided to put an end to all flesh, for the earth is filled with lawlessness because of them. I'm about to destroy them with the earth. God says that to Noach. And then the Torah says, all existence on earth was blotted out. Only Noach was left and those with him in the ark. That is his family members, the animals, right? So God says to Noach, build this ark, right? You know this, and gives detailed instructions. Make it of gopher wood, cover it inside and out with pitch, kofer. Here are the dimensions of the ark. And God says, make a window for the ark. Sohar ta'aseh lateva. Sohar ta'aseh lateva. Make a window. Or in the JPS translation, make an opening for daylight in the ark. That's a verse we know very well. The Degel Machane Ephraim, Rabbi Dov Ber, who was a grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, has a beautiful drash on this phrase, on this verse, make a window for the ark. The Degel says, my grandfather illuminated the following point. Teva hints at the word, which is also called Teva. Right? So Teva means ark. Also means word, letters. word. This then, he says, is the intent of Sohar Ta'aseh La Teva. See to it that you illuminate the word that issues from your mouth. How about that? See to it that you illuminate the word that issues from your mouth. So make daylight for an opening for daylight in the ark. Illuminate daylight from your words, the tevot. So I want to investigate the yoga of mindful speech, which I think is really important today as we engage in civil discourse, as we try to really form our words in a way that will be powerful and also kind and disciplined, right? So in terms of yoga and mindful speech, I want to investigate today opening this front channel of the body, because how does word arise? Well, of course, it emanates from the throat, but before the throat, we really have the heart and the gut, the belly, right? So how often have any of us, all of us, felt that we have something to say and there's this intuitive feeling in the gut, like something ineffable begins to form? And then, or maybe something moves, you feel something in the heart, a constriction, an opening, something needs to be said, or at the throat. Sometimes I think we've all had that experience where you want to speak and you actually physically can feel a closing of the throat with a fear of what needs to be said. So we want to give some attention to this opening and this arising. And also to toning the channel of the back body, the spine and the paraspinal muscles, because a strong spinal column gives us a strong line of integrity. And for mindful speech, we certainly need a strong line of integrity. So I want to share with you some words from Sally Kempton, who's a fantastic meditation teacher, on speech, on words. She says, words and the energy they carry make or break friendships and careers. They define us as individuals, even as cultures. We know this, and yet we often let our words flow out, more or less unmediated, like random pebbles tossed into a lake. Sometimes it's only when the ripples spread and cause waves, and the waves rush back and splash us, that we stop to think about the way we speak. Our relationships, work environment, even our feelings about ourselves, our self-speech, can be transformed simply by taking time to think about how words create reality. Our bodies and subconscious minds hold the residue of every kind or cruel word we've ever taken in. So does the very air and soil. To practice right speech is essentially to approach speaking as a form of yoga, form of union. Before you speak, it's a good idea to ask yourself 3 questions. Is this true? Is this kind? Is this necessary? And these questions are known in Buddhism as the 3 gates of speech, right? So as we look at this parasha and how and the brit that comes at the end, right? When Noah exits the ark, the brit with God, the covenant, the brit with our earth, with our land, with our climate, the britot, the agreements and covenants we make with our friends, with our families, and our places of work. We can surely look to see how words flow as we are in a challenging time right now as we approach an election. How are we going to use our words and have this idea of Sohar Ta'aseh La Teva, to illuminate the ark, the place that holds us, the ark, and illuminate also the words that hold us. So let's take a look. We're going to start in a low lunge. So if you have a blanket, or if you want to fold up your mat to make a cushion for your back knee, you might enjoy that. Let's take the right knee back and the left foot forward, and begin to, and take the right knee a little bit further back, because you don't want to be directly on the kneecap. You want to be a little ahead of in front of the kneecap. Just coming into this lunge, allowing the front body to drop into the left thigh towards the ground. Now, right away, work on squaring the hips. So that means scissor the legs. Begin to draw that left foot, scrub it back against the mat, and the right knee scrub it forward. You're not moving, but you're just taking a little bit of scissoring action as you draw the left hip back and the right hip forward. Already, you might see that creates a structure for your pelvis. Really important on protecting this low back, on aligning. Then begin to come up with the torso. Now draw the belly in towards the spine, draw it up, draw the lower belly up, and send the tailbone down. And you might find, wow, nothing moves. This is really hard. You can come out a little further. See if you can try it, lengthening the tailbone down, drawing the lower belly in and up, even taking your right hand to the right thigh and beginning to lift up, move an upward action. You begin to see that as you do this action with the pelvis, you start to get a lot of sensation through that right quadricep, the hip flexors, and then from there, with that integrity of the pelvic base, you might begin to come forward again. Inhale the arms up overhead. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, take a little crescent bend over to the left. Continue to stabilize and scissor through those legs. Let the hips drop forward if you're able. Inhale, come on up to center, and exhale, take a twist, opening to the left. Right hand to the outside of the left knee, left fingertips extending. Long spine, drop the tailbone, and you can play with how much you're able to come forward. Then swing it around, hands to the blocks or to the floor. Tuck those right toes under and lift the back knee, lift the right knee. Lengthen through the spine. Once again, scissor those legs. Left hip back, right hip forward, square them. Then if you like, take the hands to the front thigh and up overhead, and then open it out, warrior two. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Turn the right palm to face up. Inhale, cartwheel back around to the floor and come back to that low lunge, right knee on the floor. Stretching, and then straighten through the left leg as you begin to draw the hips back. Just a light fold forward. Over that left leg, you can draw the toes back towards the forehead. Get a little stretch through the calf. And then inhale, come on forward. Take the left knee to meet the right knee and just sit it down, buttocks to heels for a moment, tall spine, pausing. And breathe. Be right where you are. What do you notice? What's here today? What's new today? Which same old visitors are here today? Can you have compassion? For the aches, the pains, patience. Bringing them a little loving attention. And then we'll change sides. So we'll step the right foot forward, left knee is back. And first just let this hang in a low lunge. Let the torso just drop. Quadriceps muscles are pretty big and they do this, these gross muscles do a lot, they do a lot for us. They can get really tight before we realize it. It does some good to the whole body, the whole foundation, the low back, everything, to work on them a little bit. And then coming up and coming a little bit out of this, dropping the tailbone and lifting and drawing in of the low belly. Dropping the tailbone, lifting and drawing in the low belly. Take the hand to the left thigh if you like and just draw the flesh up. Inviting this movement, tailbone down, front hip points up. Then from here you might come a little bit more, dropping into the lunge. Tailbone down, tailbone down. Just to your edge. Inhale the arms up. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And as you exhale, take a mini side bend over to the right. Keep the gaze steady and soft. Inhaling into length. Exhaling into this side bend and possibly deepening. And then inhale up through center, release the hands, and exhale, take a twist to the right. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, right fingertips extending back. You might drop a little more into the lunge. You can come in and out. Draw the right hip back in space. Stabilize yourself. And then take the hands down, tuck the back toes if you like, lift the knee off the floor, extend the body long. If you'd like to keep going, hands to the thigh, front thigh, arms up overhead, high lunge, and then opening out, warrior two. Now you see my back body. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight. Gazing over those right fingertips. And then turn the left palm to face up and cartwheel the arms around, coming back to the lunge, dropping the left knee to the floor. Take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, draw both hips back in space, straighten through the right leg. You can keep a slight bend on the knee. Draw that right hip especially back. And if you're able, draw the toes towards the forehead. You'll start to feel a little more through the calf, through the Achilles. And then coming forward. Once more, tuck the back toes and step the back foot to meet the front foot, folding over the legs, bending the knees. Just fold. Little ragdoll. Take a nice full inhale. Fill the back ribs. And as you exhale, drop your tailbone and one by one, Stack the vertebrae coming up, one on top of the next. Press into the feet as you come, making your way up to standing. We'll take the legs wide. We're going to take a forward fold. You might want blocks or a chair or a table in front of you if your hands don't reach the floor. Hands to the hips, legs nice and wide, outer edges of the feet parallel with the outer edges of the mat, and then turn the toes in slightly. Press the feet down. Inhale, lift the heart, draw those elbows toward each other. Lift up, open the throat, gaze up towards the ceiling, open this whole front channel. And as you exhale, roll the thighs in, fold from the hip crease, take the hands to the chair, the blocks, the floor. Inhale, lengthen the spine here at 90 degrees. And then as you exhale, fold forward. The hands reach the floor. Place the fingertips in line with the toes. Draw the elbows toward each other and draw the head down towards the floor. You can let the head, crown of the head rest on the mat, on a block, on a chair. Legs are straight. Tailbone up. Don't hang back in your heels. In this pose, you almost feel like you're going to tumble forward. There's a little bit of an action towards the toes, which means you're on your midline, really, right? Inhale and lengthen the spine once again to 90 degrees. Exhale, take the hands to the hips. Inhale, press into the feet. Come on up. Gaze up, draw the elbows back. Open the throat. Exhale, come back to center. Heel toe the feet together. We're going to make our way to the floor and rest on the belly. If you'd like to make some extra padding with a blanket on your mat, go for it. Come to the belly, full body long. Make a pillow for your forehead by placing one hand atop the other hand. And rest the forehead in the back, on the back of your hand. So widen the feet to hip distance apart. And once again, we can remind ourselves of that same action. Draw the lower belly in and up and take the tailbone down towards the heels. Extend through the tops of the feet, extend through the 10 toes. Good, now take the palms in line with the chest, with the fingers pointing forward. And those elbows, for a moment, take them out to the sides and then draw them in so the elbows hug the sides of the rib cage. Feel how that makes your neck a little bit longer, draws your shoulder blades down, takes that big trapezius muscle down the back. So elbows toward each other. The feet can be hip width or together, whichever is your preference. Once again, belly in, tailbone long. Inhale, lengthen the chest and heart forward and begin to lift the forehead, lift the gaze, keeping the head and neck in line with the rest of the spine. Now feel that you could scrub your palms back in space and draw your heart even further forward. Elbows toward each other, scrub the palms back, tailbone long. Inhale, and then exhale, lengthen, lower down. Good job. We're going to come again. So, all of those actions Find them in the body. Make an illumination for the channel of your speech, the channel of verbal emanation. Inhale and come on up. Scrub those hands back. Now take your hands forward onto the forearms for Sphinx pose. The elbows are under the shoulders, but if that is too much, you want to bring the elbows forward. So the more you bring the elbows forward, the lower you'll be and the less of a curve in your low back. Right? So you can make it kind of a little baby Sphinx, or you can draw those elbows in, make it bigger. And if you want more, if you want a full cobra, you could take the arms a little wide and start to lift up a little further. Tailbone long, belly in and up, collarbones wide. And then as you're ready, little by little, roll it on down. Very good. You're going to take the hands behind you and clasp hands, let the elbows be bent, and just lay your hands down on your sacrum with your thumbs right in the middle of the low back, if that's possible for you. If that's not possible in your range of motion for your shoulders, take your strap or resistance band or necktie, bathrobe belt, whatever you've got, and hold on to it behind you. So whatever arrangement you have there with the hands, once again, lengthen the tops of the feet on the floor. Find that long tailbone. Draw that belly in and up. Protect the low back. Now inhale and lift the front body, send the arms back, and also lift the legs. Use your breath, build some heat. Extend the knuckles back, extend the strap back, extend the heart forward, and then slowly lower down. Take your head to the right side, rest on your left cheek. Bring your right knee up at hip height. Your arms in scarecrow, and just pause here. Left leg is long, right knee is up. If this is comfortable for you, this is not a comfortable counter pose for everyone. You'll know pretty quickly if your body likes it or is not so happy with it. So take something that's just a restful moment and breathe. And then coming back, you're welcome to take locust pose, what we just did once again, or if you'd like, we'll take bow pose, bending the knees, holding on to tops of the feet or the ankles, or taking the strap around the ankles, or simply bending the knees and extending the arms back. Totally valid, great, wonderful modification if the hands don't come to the feet. So more than ever, lengthen that tailbone down, lift the low belly up. You feel the hip points start to move into the floor. Inhale, lift the heart, and allow the feet pressing into the hands to be what lifts you. Feet to the hands, feet into the hands, feet into the hands. And then from there, send those toes up towards the ceiling. Bow pose, kind of like the arc, the teva, the shape of the arc. And then slowly, lower down. This time we'll turn the head to the left, rest on the right cheek, draw that left knee up at hip height. Rest here for a moment. Release as you're ready, and we're going to make our way onto the back. If you have a block handy, bring that with you. Soles of the feet to the floor and the knees bent. Pause. Notice what you feel. Now we're going to press into the feet and lift the hips and place the low back onto the block, a low bridge. If you don't have a block available to you, you have a couple choices. One is an active bridge pose, if you would like a little more for the thighs and the fronts of the hips. And the other is simply to hug the knees to the chest. Start to cool it down. So either an active bridge pose or hugging the knees to the chest. If you have the block, a low supported bridge. And if you find yourself in this low supported bridge, still continue to lengthen the tailbone. Draw the hip points up towards the shoulders. Let that low back spread and be nice and long. And breathe. Allow the breath to flood the chest, open the chest, expand the lungs. And press into the feet, lift the hips, slowly lower down. So for all of us, let's take the right knee in towards the chest and clasp hands right behind the right thigh. Allow the thigh to drop into the hands, really move away from the torso. Extend the left leg long. Scrub that heel as you dig down against the mat, as you lengthen the left leg. Square the hips, so draw the left hip up and the right hip extend down. You feel that squareness of the hips, and then from here begin to straighten through the right leg. It may not straighten all the way, that's just fine. So more than a hamstring stretch, which we're definitely getting, we're really just resetting the lower back. Right? This is a stabilization for the low back. Continue to send that right sitting bone down, right hip down. Really press that right thigh against the hands. And then bend the right knee. Place the sole of the foot on the floor. Now take the left leg in. Clasp with the opposite clasp of the hands around the back of the left thigh. Let that thigh really drop into the hands. And from here, flex through the right foot. And once again, dig the foot down into the mat as you lengthen, right along the line of the right hip. So keep the ankle in line with the hip. And then from here, begin to straighten through the left leg, pressing the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, especially letting that left thigh drop into the hands. Good. Square the hips. You can even take your eyes up and visually look at where your hips are in space, right? But likely right hip coming down, left hip coming up. Stabilize. Beautiful, and then release. Take the knees in towards the chest. Take the arms out shoulder height. Inhale. Exhale the knees over to the right. Just taking an easy twist. We're not going to stay. Really using the abs to control this, the core. Inhale the knees up to center. And exhale, take a twist, bring them down to the left side. You don't have to come all the way down. Just over a little bit even. Inhale up through center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up through center. And exhale, twist left. Inhale, come on up through center once again. Give the knees a hug. And we're going to now come into stillness. You can keep the soles of the feet on the floor with the knees bent if you like. You can take a classic Shavasana, legs out long. You could take the legs up the wall as I'm doing. Once again, a nice rest for the low back. You could place the lower legs up on a chair, also beautiful for the low back. Yogi's choice, Shavasana. Take off your glasses if you're wearing glasses. Turn the palms to face up, wriggle your shoulders under you. Allow the eyes to close if it's comfortable for you. Soften. Let go. Allow this window of illumination to settle itself, to nestle itself into your being. Beginning to deepen the breath. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Beginning to wake up. And take the arms overhead and make a full body stretch. Roll your way over onto your side and up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Straighten the spine, open the heart. And to close, we'll take a hand to the belly and a hand to the throat, lovingly, or a hand to the heart and a hand to the throat. Notice what's comfortable for you. Just lightly touching this channel. A wish for true speech, peaceful speech, illuminated speech. And then bring the palms together in front of the heart. We'll close chanting Shalom together. Shalom. 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 Shalom, peace, peace, salam, peace. Thank you all for practicing today. It's really great to be with you. And happy to field some questions if you have them. I saw a couple of you had a question about the text. Ricky, were you asking about the Degel or the other piece on mindful speech?